Hello, my name is Heather Mills, and I'm here to talk about the ISTA standards for teachers to promote model and digital citizenship and responsibility. First of all, I'd like to explain what digital citizenship is because I even had to look that up because I was not really quite sure what it is. Digital citizenship basically applies to everybody, teachers, administrators, regular Joes like us, and basically how you act in the appropriate way you use technology on the media, pretty much anywhere, when anything that has to do with technology, the appropriateness of it and how to use it. Okay, I focused on, again, the digital citizen part of it and the standards for teachers. The first thing I focused on was the media and the information literacy policy and strategies guideline. And really the only thing I want to go over on this is basically the teach the teacher approach. Basically the teachers, especially librarians, need to teach teachers how to use the technology because they are also teaching the largest population of students at one time using that particular literacy, and how they explain that and do that has to do with the policy and strategy guidelines. I like the fact that there's a lot of government organizations and other organizations that help promote this. The Obama administration came up with the digital literacy.gov information website that uses various and other approaches that primarily focus on curriculum and, just embedding it into the curriculum and using it in other means instead of just for social media. I also like the JISC, the Developing Digital Literacy Programs in the European way. I really, really like this one because it not only provides current technology information, it also has a support and basically help desk. And it uses not just their approach, but other various approaches from other universities and other institutions. The Syracuse University Project Enable, I brought that one up because it is free. It is a free online training for library professionals. And believe it or not, as we are media resource specialists, we need as much free stuff as we can get, and it's easy to use. So that is what I focused on. I went with the more, here's information on where you can find this stuff instead of killing us with the guidelines.
All right. Okay, I did the digital citizenship standards for students. And really, I think the biggest problem is just the lack of access to technology to give these kids the experiences that they need. A solvable challenge was actually needing to rethink the role of teachers because students should be reflecting and creating, producing, demonstrating, sharing, and taking ownership of their learning online. But it's hard to do that with the instruction. 81% of educators felt like this technology was important for providing the experiences for these students, but they didn't feel like they were really supported. A third of them felt like schools were not supporting them. And the solution was to give more online training if there's not the resources there to do the professional development there in their district. And so I like what Heather was saying, there's so many free ways to do that so that our kids get those experiences so they can get the instruction that they need to be responsible online. The difficult challenge was that advancing the digital equity, there's so many places where students don't have access outside of school. They talk about the homework gap, again, not having that experience. Some of the schools, like in Illinois, are lengthening their library hours so that kids can get that instruction, opening up more web-connected space to accommodate more students. And then in New York, I love it, on their school buses, they actually put internet routers so that students can complete work and get that experience on their way to and from school. And then the wicked challenge was the achievement gap. There's a real relationship between those socioeconomic status and student achievement, and students living in those lower SES areas or attending schools where teachers have less experiences. There's a big turnover rate, and so then you have that lack of technology integration and a consistency in understanding those legal and ethical online behaviors. So funding would be a possible solution to allow teachers to have the opportunity to share across communities where there are those innovative teaching practices and behaviors being taught amongst districts so that students get more practical experience. Okay.
All right, I did digital citizenship for coaches, the standards for coaches. So first, I'm talking about traditional versus digital literacy. Traditional literacy has always been about the ability to read and write, but now digital literacy means to be fluent with a wide range of digital tools for varied educational purposes. So now libraries are in a way competing to be the place where students can find their information. Some of today's libraries have even expanded to offer coding as a way to learn a new kind of literacy. This, of course, takes training that needs to be given to librarians and faculty members. In my school district, we have digital learning specialists, DLSs. Each one of these people have a handful of campuses that they're responsible for. They coach teachers, promote learning initiatives like a robotics club or a coding club. They train teachers with new tools and techniques. They help with lesson plans, and they help at district-wide trainings. However, my school district has recently gotten rid of the DLS position, so it remains to be seen how they think teachers are going to receive the necessary training. U of H does offer something called the Discovery Camp, which helps a librarian explore new discovery systems that they can take back to school with them. There is also lynda.com, Lynda, which seems to be a place where you can go and learn new skills in technology. And there's also places like Google Scholar and academia.edu that these are all free places where users can go to become more digitally literate.
Hi there. I focused on digital citizenship standards for administrators, and basically it just focuses on how educational administrators need to understand the social, ethical, and legal issues and appropriate use when it comes to using digital resources. The way I line this up, I couldn't find a lot of information in the Horizon report, but at my place of employment, the Boy Scouts of America, administrators continually ensure that its field staff and paraprofessionals are thoroughly trained in the responsible and appropriate use of technology and digital resources. And the reason they do that is because it's for the safety of the employees, including myself, the volunteers, those that we supervise and manage, but most of all for the children, because we do, my district, we deal with over 600 scouters. All of our training is conducted via webinars that are hosted by professionals within the legal field. So all our training literally comes from the mouth of lawyers. So they know all the ins and outs of appropriate internet use. And the specific one that we use is called Law Room Webinars, which offer online compliance training. We're also giving classes on data security, which refers to the protective digital privacy measures that are applied to prevent unauthorized access to computers, databases, and websites. All our computers, even our smartphones, they have this souped up protection that we cannot go into databases unless we have authorization from our superiors. Another thing that we have is we're all familiar with HIPAA. I know a lot of people think it's only for like the health industry, but actually we use a lot of HIPAA training that's required for us to do, and it helps us with protecting employee and customer data at each stage in the data lifecycle. So as long as we have that data information in our computers, we have to follow certain rules and regulations when it comes to safeguarding that type of information. This also includes creation, storage, and transmission, use, and the sharing and retention of all data that we have from our, like I said, volunteers and our kids. And because that's one of the things that we really try to, we stress every time we have training. And we do this twice a year to make sure that we don't forget. For example, don't leave your computer on when you're sharing information, let's say, with another volunteer or with another professional, because when you walk away, you make that automatically, you can make that information available to people who have no business looking at it. So anyways, that pretty much concludes the area that I focused on. I do want to thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, have a good night.